Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchi Imo, and on this channel I talk about building and growing your cake business. I share tips on entrepreneurship, personal development. I do story time and vlogs as well. You are most welcome to another video. If you are new here, you are welcome once again. Thank you so much for stopping by and for clicking to watch this video. And if you are an old subscriber, thank you so much for your support, for commenting, replying, liking, and for sharing this video. Thank you so much. So today, without further ado, we are talking about smartphone cake photography. I beg your pardon. We'll be talking about smartphone cake photography, and I'm talking about this because I see a lot of bakers who do great cakes, yes, but at the end of the day, it doesn't look like those cakes are actually great. It doesn't look like those cakes are stunning because they are doing things the wrong way when it comes to their cake photography. You've put so much effort and time into doing a cake, and when you post it online on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you use, maybe your WhatsApp status, it doesn't look like this is something that I should put my money in, or this is somebody that I should buy a cake from. We are going to correct that, and we're going to start by looking at the things that you're doing wrong and how to correct them. So if you're interested in this video as a baker or even as an entrepreneur, you definitely want to keep on watching. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. The first thing I'll be talking about is taking pictures in a dark environment, like the corners of your house, your kitchen, in a place that is poorly lit, your corridor, the walkway for those of us that stay in Nigeria, where I live in. Okay, taking pictures in these places will not help your cake photograph at all. So you want to look for a place that is properly lit, or not even looking for a place. You want to make that place where you use, like your cake picture area, you want to make it as bright as possible. And when it comes to lighting, you don't need so much, especially if you're just starting out. Natural lighting is your best friend. I remember when I was working from home during the lockdown, taking my pictures indoors wasn't working for me at all. It wasn't just working. And so I started taking my picture outdoors, and I got something to help me block the background so that I could have a beautiful, finish and image clean at the end. So if you can invest in lighting, it's all well and good. If you can put additional lights in your house, all well and good. Or if you work from your studio or from your cake store or from your cake shop, all well and good. Just ensure that you have an area that is well lit. You need lights, okay, preferably close to a window, okay, close to a window, close to a door. It will help with the natural lighting. I tell you, it's a lifesaver. Many people don't know how much natural lighting does, or how much it enhances the beauty of their cake photos, and so they're not using it. For me, I leave everything indoors and go outside to take my pictures, and with a little bit of editing, just minimal editing, I'm able to get the result that I want to my pictures looking clean, sharp, and crisp. So please ensure that it is properly lit. Do not take it in a place where there are no windows, because you need lights coming in. And one more point I should mention here is that you should ensure that the window is coming, or the natural light is coming through the window by your side. So for example, you have a cake, don't put it the way I'm sitting, because if you take your pictures without lighting, I have an extra source of lighting here. If you take a picture without that extra source of lighting, it's going to be dark. So you want the light to come in from the side, or to come facing. You want the light to be facing your object, which is the cake. So the window should be in front of you, not behind you. Or the window should be in front of your cake and not behind your cake, okay? I hope that is clear. Now, let's move to the next point. The second point where you're getting it all wrong is you are taking your pictures in a cluttered environment. There is no beauty in doing that, especially if your area or your environment is not well arranged. Like we're seeing your plates of buttercream, we are seeing your piping bags, we are seeing shoes in the background, we are seeing books, we are seeing buckets of margarine, we are seeing different things in the background. It ends up taking the focus away from your cake, and it makes your picture look very noisy and distracting, and it doesn't bring out the beauty at all. So when you want to take your cake pictures, ensure that you wipe your table, you clean it very well, wipe the surface, take everything that is not meant to be there out. Just ensure that the background is clean. For me, sometimes I move my cake forward. I have a white work table that I use, So I just move my cake forward so that the back can serve as, the back of the table can serve as a backdrop. And when I take my pictures, it will look like there's a white wall behind. It's actually not a white wall, it's just my work table. But I take my pictures in such a way that you have that, and you can't get the mixers that are in the background, you can't get the standing fan that is there, you can't get my oven, you can't get anything. I try to cut those things out as much as possible. So even if you're working in the kitchen, when you're done working, bring your cake out of the kitchen, bring your cake away from the dining area, bring your cake away from the wall where you have things lying on the ground, you have bags or you have hanging clothes. I actually have seen this kind of pictures online, and I don't know if you can attest to this, but I have, and it's the real thing, and it doesn't appeal to anyone at all. So you want to ensure that your pictures are looking very professional as possible, no matter your level, home baker, newbie baker, starting out, whatever your level. It's important that you give professional representation of your works, and that would attract customers to you. The third point will be not cleaning your lens. So you take pictures, you just lift your phone, and then you open the camera, you launch your camera, and then you just start taking shots. That is the fastest and the easiest route to getting blurry pictures. I mean, it's the fastest and the easiest route to getting blurry pictures. And what do I mean? Your pictures will not be clear. Okay, if you have toppings, you have things that should be distinct, that should be sharp, they're just going to be blurry. They're not going to come out full, sharp, and clean as they should, and you do not want that. So you always want to use the tip of your clothes or a napkin or something. I prefer to use the tip of my top or whatever I'm having on to just wipe my lens before I take shots. Maybe I've taken like 2 shots or 3 shots, I will wipe again. I'll check the pictures. If they're not looking the way that I want, or even if they're looking the way that I want, I will still wipe it again. I wipe my lens and I clean it from flour stains, clean it from fingerprints, whatever stain is there. You just want to get the cleanest shot as possible. So when you pick up your phone, ensure that you form a habit of wiping the lens before you take your pictures. The fourth thing you're doing wrong is that you are not allowing your camera focus. Okay, so if I want to take a picture and I just leave my camera and I begin to take shots, I hold it this way and I'm just snapping away, I'm not going to get the true picture of what I want. When you pick your phone, you allow it focus. Okay, pick up your phone. When you put it in front of your cake, maybe you're standing or you're sitting or you're kneeling. Yes, we kneel sometimes to take a cake pictures. I don't know if you can relate. So hold it and let it focus. Okay, sometimes you can actually lock the focus. You tap on your screen and it will lock the focus in place, and then you can go right ahead to take your pictures. So please bear this in mind, that when you bring it up, you don't just start taking pictures. You would see that icon as you're going to see the icon on your screen, and then you can hold it, place it where you want to be, and then you take your pictures. And then when it comes to the focus, you can also increase the exposure or reduce the exposure of your pictures by tapping on different points on the screen to see which is best for that shot you want to take. So just tap. There's no particular way. If you tap to the top right, you tap to the top left, you tap anywhere, it's just going to give you options on exposure, the brightness. When I say exposure, I mean the brightness, the level of brightness for that you want for that particular shot. Okay, so check, ensure that you lock the exposure if you want to, and then you go ahead to take your pictures. Don't just pick and go on snapping. You're just going to end up with a bunch of unclear and blurry pictures. Now I'm going to talk about the fifth point, which relates closely to the point before this, and it's that you are using flash to take your pictures. Even if it's at night, please don't use the flash option to take your pictures. Okay, you're just going to end up making your pictures look dark. Yes, your pictures are going to look dark, and you will not really like the result. It might be good to you, but that is not how pictures should be taken. So you want to check on your screen, like I said before. Now check and try to balance the lighting, the exposure, the amount of brightness on your screen before you proceed, instead of using flash. When you tap on your screen, it's going to help you increase or decrease the brightness to what you want, but avoid using flash. The sixth point is this: you are not checking. and utilizing your phone camera settings. So when you buy a phone, if you're planning to buy a phone or you already have a phone, please check the camera settings. Check it. Turn the phone upside down, not literally anyway, but check the phone camera settings. Go into the settings and then see for what you can adjust. There are different things that you can adjust. You can adjust your temperature, you can adjust your ISO. There are different settings that you can use for indoors. When I used to take my pictures indoors, I used to use that's at my cake studio. I used to use the fluorescent for my other phone. That's why I said I use the fluorescent feature or the incandescent feature. That's what I use or option to take my pictures. So have them looking a certain way, so they're not looking too warm, that is brown or yellow, and they're not looking too what's the other word now, they're not looking too white. Yeah, allow me just use that. They're not looking too white, they're not looking too blue, so there is a balance in between. So check your phone features. You're going to see different options for taking pictures indoors and outdoors. You check your filters, check your AI camera, check your HDR, check your lighting settings. There are different things you can touch, and I'm mentioning this because I know that not all phones have these features, okay? But so that's why I'm particular about you checking to know what the settings are. First of all, when I go to buy my phones, I usually like to ask them what phone is the best, like what's the good, what can you recommend that I can use for taking good pictures, and they recommend to me. And when they do, I take pictures in there. In fact, they take pictures and they show me this is how it is, this is how, and I tell them I want to use this for my cake pictures, so I need something that is sharp and something that is good, and they show me, and I check to ensure that there are settings that I can work on, I can adjust, and I can tweak to my own taste and preference, that will suit my taste and preference before I go ahead to buy it. Don't buy a phone where you don't have settings where you can adjust. It's important that you're able to adjust and make these changes from time to time to suit the shot that you want to take. The 7th point I'll be talking about is poor editing. Okay, you have done that cake, it's beautiful, it's nice, and you feel like editing, you want to edit your cake pictures, and you open your editing app, you launch the app, maybe Visco or Lightroom or Snapseed, and you start taking everything way up, way up. It's poor editing, and it's going to leave your pictures looking too edited, over edited. It's going to leave your pictures looking unappealing and unflattering. Like, people will be they won't be drawn to it. Actually, I know that that's what you want. You want it to look all colorful, bright, beautiful. You want the red. You want the red to look so red. You want the pink to be so hot, hotter than this top I have. You want everything to look so sharp and bright, and so you are doing it. Like we say here in Nigeria, too much of everything is not good. Too much of everything no good. Okay, so you want to work on doing minimal editing. With the phones that are available in the market today, you don't need to do so much. I mean, if you know the right thing to do and how to use your phone properly, you're just going to get good results over time if you know how to use the phone and if you practice well. So please don't over edit when you're working on the saturation. Don't make it so colorful, and we'll begin to see it. It will even look unreal to the customers, and you don't want to get into trouble with your clients when the cake arrives. They're like, maybe they've chosen a particular cake on your page, and then they want you to replicate that design. They receive it, and the blue is not as blue as it looks, the red is not as red as it looks on your page, and there are discrepancies and differences here and there. You don't want that. So please, minimal editing. If you do the right things, your focus, your settings, the area where you use for your cake pictures, and I believe that you don't need too much of editing. It was formerly I used to edit so much, but now I can even post my raw photos and you won't even know that this picture has not been edited. Okay, so it's the power of knowing what to do and having the right device, the right phone to take your cake pictures, using the right angles and everything. So please do not oversaturate your pictures. Don't use too much. Don't increase the temperature so much that your cake is looking so white, and you increase the tint, it's looking so pink. You touch it's looking so blue. You do this looking so purple, so like you do not want that. It's a cake picture. Try to keep it as real as possible, and try to keep your your editing as minimal as possible. I believe that these tips are going to help you. Overall, you want to keep practicing. Practice. Watch videos on how to edit your YouTube. If you would like to see a video on how I edit my cake pictures, you know, I told you I don't do so much, but if you want me to show you the little that I do when it comes to editing my cake pictures, please let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video useful, also let me know in the comments below. If you have challenges with taking your pictures, let me also know in the comments below. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, to give this video a thumbs up, and to turn on notifications as well. And please share with your friends. Share this video and let us educate and get more people knowledgeable about taking their cake pictures as much as possible. Until I see you in the next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed.